Welcome back to another episode of the On Deck Circle podcast brought to you by the Fantasy Six Pack. I am your esteemed, handsome, no pitcher having host, Nick Zaniboni, aka the Italian Breakfast. Jason, how you doing today?
What is up, Nick? It is full-on draft season still. I am being overwhelmed right now. I have three slow drafts going on. Love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Being completely confused on which draft you're in, who's on your roster. Someone says, "Oh, who's on TGFBI?" I don't know. I can't remember anymore. We're in about 30th round, almost complete.
You're 30.
We got
I'm at
almost.
21.
I think we're at 26. I think we had 26 today, so we're close. And then we got the Fantasy Six Pack series that just started up. I mean, we're in full swing draft mode right now.
It is a great time to love baseball and fantasy baseball. The World Baseball Classic started. I have not seen anything yet, but it's just good to have meaningful baseball on. And it is everybody's favorite time, Jason. The question of the week. I had two, so I'm trying to think which one I'd want. This has nothing to do with baseball at all.
That's okay.
I guess I know the answer. Fuck. All right.
Hit me with fun.
What is your favorite month of sports?
You're right. You're right. That is literally the easiest question to answer. It's October.
Oh, that's wrong.
No. Here, let me hear it. You got literally all four sports going. You have the World Series going on. You have football season in full swing. You have basketball about to start up. You have hockey going on. What more could you want other than October?
June.
And for what reason?
Because it's still exciting for every team in June in baseball is pretty much in it. So no matter what, I'm going to watch the Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Next, playoff hockey and playoff basketball are just so good. And like I've been figuring out I kind of enjoy my Sundays that aren't like
so
watching all day.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and agree with you on that. This last month of not being over consumed with football from like 9 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night has been a little bit of a relief. I'm not going to lie. I miss it. What's that?
I care too much.
That's my problem too. I got like you, I'm sure it's like me, just, full on fantasy football mode on top of your favorite team playing, primetime games, the hype and the build around it. I got to agree with you a little bit. Maybe that's a little bit of like the fatigue in me right now.
Yes. Just come August and maybe like, give me all the football.
Yeah, exactly. But there is something to say about not being overconsumed with football on Sunday. It has been kind of relaxing.
A bit of clarity at like the end. And you're like, you know what? I don't need 7 screens out right now. And like the amount of like anxiety I have and like anger, it's not, I think I'm saying this now and I do not mean it. I think I'm going to cut down my fantasy football leagues.
You know what's funny is I say that every year. Like 2 years ago, I did cut down, and then I end up replacing it like 2 years later with 2 more. And then all of a sudden I'm in like 7 leagues. But I agree.
4 or 3. But like
similar to baseball, I kind of been trending towards dynasty more, which in a sense almost becomes best ball, right? You just set your lineup and you don't really have a ton of lineup questions to be answered. You basically just put out your guys, let it run for the season. You obviously, at trade deadline you make some moves, but
yeah.
But I agree.
Fantasy football is more of just like hanging out with your buddies because like baseball, especially dynasty baseball, is very niche. So like I can't find 15, 24 of my friends that'll like do this.
Right.
It's like my friends think I'm weird. Like they're like doing like, who are these people you're talking about? I'm like, yeah, I know. Like it's just kind of my thing. But like I can get 15 of my friends and we'll have a fantasy football draft and they know every player that's drafted. But baseball is just so tough. I don't know. I'm excited, I guess. I'm excited.
No, I agree too. And before we get into talking some more drafting and draft strategies, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about getting access to the award-winning advice and rankings that we have available on Fantasy Six Pack. You can sign up for a membership today. Go to fantasysixpack.net/plans. Use promo code F6PMLB. You'll get 50% off all of our available options. And it's also draft season, which it's one time good thing to mention is Fantrax. If you're not drafting on Fantrax, what are you doing? When it comes to dynasty, redraft, best ball, they got it all. Super customizable. You need to go give it a try over Fantrax. You can create an account today. Go to fantrax.com/fantasy six pack, and you can see what you've been missing. If you're like me, we talk about it over and over again every week. Fantrax is the place to be when it comes to fantasy baseball.
For sure.
So I know last week we kind of left off. I think we were only a few rounds into our TGFBI. We were glowing with excitement, just like every team is in April, like we're going to win it all. But now after we've had about a full week now, a little over a week, where do you feel now about your TGFBI team?
Jason, that Charlie Day meme on he's like at the whiteboard, he's got everything going on.
Yeah.
From Always Sunny. That's what I'm at. And I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I do know that I'm either going to be I'm too committed, Jason. I'm too committed to zero pitcher. And I'm okay with it now because I've addressed the problem. I know it's there. But every single redraft that I am having this year will be zero pitcher.
Okay.
And it's okay. Because if it works, I will be a genius. And they'll be writing books about me. But if it doesn't work, Jason, I think I need to crawl in a hole because I'm too pot committed, as they say.
Okay, so why don't you walk us through I know we talked a little bit about it, but let's now talk about who you've now added to your roster. Since we have reached your, 150, top 150, outside top 150 pitchers that you went with. This was your draft strategy for TGFBI this year is no pitchers within the top 150. Is that correct?
It's also my draft strategy for the Fantasy Six Pack Challenge.
Okay. So why don't we've reached the past top 150? Who are your pitchers in TGFBI? Oh, what? What's so funny? Are you ashamed of your no zero pitch strategy?
Looking at it now, I might be a little ashamed. All right. I'm also trying to kill time because this app sucks. But here we go. All right. My ace, Luis Garcia.
Okay. Everyone's ace, Luis Garcia.
Charlie Morton.
Okay. That was really good. I'm sure that's a really good value.
Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Relief pitcher. That's actually, for your RP1 outside of the top 150, that's actually really solid.
Hunter Brown.
Love that.
Little bit of upside play there.
Yeah.
Evan Phillips, who I just found the other day, apparently could be the closer for the Dodgers.
Yes, he is in consideration for the Dodgers closer.
Next, the next two are my two favorites, if we're being completely honest. Sonny Gray.
Okay.
Was very good at one point, a year or two ago. Had some injuries, but then, and my guy who I might be a little Cy Young action here. Alex Cobb.
Oh, okay. Buying into the Alex Cobb hype?
I am buying all the way into Alex Cobb hype. Giants, I love any pitcher on the Giants. Kyle Finnegan, I didn't know who the hell he was, but might be the closer of the Nats.
Yeah, he probably most likely will be the closer of the Nats. He obviously was the closer last year.
Yeah.
May not get a ton of opportunities, but hey, what are you talking about? The 20th round here at this point?
Yeah. Then Lance McCullers.
So we've been talking about him a lot. He's been a hot topic of ours because I got him, I think, later than you did even.
Yes, I just needed to jump on because I needed that upside of maybe getting an SP2.
Yes, absolutely. In your build, I would 100% agree with that. That upside is there for you.
And then Brian Bayo.
Oh, homer pick. There you go.
Homer pick. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
And like Jason, I'm gonna give you like Cal Quantrill's out there. He's like an easy ERA guy.
Yep.
Erod out there. Dre Jameson out there. Adam Wainwright. Another guy I love. Kyle Bradish. Is that his name?
Yep. Kyle Bradish. Yep.
Tanner Houck. Mackenzie Gore. Ken Waldichuk, who like could be a thing for the A's. There's still Josiah Gray, who like huge upside play with him. If I draft him, like he might win 0 games, might win like 12. Like he could be very good.
Yeah.
So there's still some guys, Clevenger, who I'm definitely gonna take.
I mean, we're just talking same lineups here almost.
Yeah.
So here I'll list off my starting pitchers or my pitchers real quick, just to kind of compare it to somebody that did go with pitchers early. Not a ton, because I kind of wanted to see like last year I went pocket closers basically. I had 2 closers in the first 3 rounds, and all it got me was to lead my league in saves. That's all it got me. And then I was riddled with injuries because I did just waited to the end. So I went Max Scherzer, Hunter Green, Jesus Luzardo. I too have Charlie Morton, Tyler Mahle, Justin Steele, homer pick.
Yep, good.
And then the guys we just discussed, I have the same ones. I have Wainwright, I have Clevenger, and I have McCullers too. I ended up getting McCullers in like the 27th round. Yeah. I was really hesitant at picking him just because forearm tightness and soreness, that's never good for a pitcher. But again, right. I'm hoping with it being a fab week, weekly fab, right? I'm hoping we get some news, whether it be good or bad, in the beginning of April or some point in April. I can dump him at some point. But the upside at like pick 350 is just too good to pass up, even for a most likely Tommy John candidate. If you can somehow get away with, maybe even missing just like a few months, could be worth it. Hard to say without an IL spot, but again, who else are you going to pick in that range? That's got that upside. And the Clevenger, I wasn't going to pick him, but obviously, the news broke last couple days ago over the weekend that he's not going to face any suspension. Is he a piece of shit? Probably, but will he put up fantasy numbers? Yeah. And at that point, I'll take that gamble. I did only go with 1 closer so far, which might come back to haunt me. I do have Jordan Romano, so I do have that anchor RP.
That is, yeah.
So I'll be guaranteed to probably around like 30 saves. I'd love to get into that 50 to 60 range. Probably not going to happen. I'll probably have to chase him with fab. What are you going to do? The board just didn't fall that way. I got one problem with being on the turn is you miss runs, right? So I missed that RP2 run. And at that point, I wasn't going to reach for one of these guys that might get like 15 saves, 10 saves. I'll find it on the waiver hopefully at some point. So I think comparatively speaking, though, I mean, we're fairly similar. And I got some guys, and I went ahead and got Scherzer in like the second round and Romano early. But I feel like the 0 pitcher strategy isn't too wild of an option. Not going to lie.
We don't know yet. We need
we got to let season play out. But just looking at someone that did go early with pitchers versus someone that didn't, it's not too far off. Like, again, I got like Green, Luzardo, and Scherzer all within like the first like 10 rounds, I'd say. First 15 rounds. And those are the few guys that you're going to miss out on by not going with, pitchers early like you did or did do.
We'll see.
So, I mean, we'll let it play out and see how it goes. I'm kind of intrigued. That was my part. I wanted to see who was available and who you were going to get. Yeah. So now we've seen that. I gotta say, I'm not that upset by it.
No, I wish I got. So my main target was Pablo Lopez. I think
right
that last week, and he got picked like maybe 4 or 5 picks before me. So like same range. I'm interested to see, since now I have the 4th pick in the
6-pack series.
Yeah. I had the 4th pick. So now I'm interested to see how that goes. Like what's the tier pitcher I'll be able to get there. And then we'll see what happens. So,
yeah. So just kind of switching gears here to the fantasy 6-pack. Just a few different things from TGFBI. We do quality appearance, which this is my first quality appearance league. So I'm kind of, so it's similar to a quality start, but you only need 5 innings now. So kind of,
I like
yeah. So how you're seeing the teams go from you're getting these teams that do openers like the Rays and guys like that are doing the opener. So then you bring in that guy that comes in like Ryan Yarbrough last year was always coming in like the second and pitching till like the 6th, right? Or the 7th. He'd be getting those 5 innings, but then not getting either the win or a quality start. So this, I think, is going to put a little bit more. I don't want to go pitcher too heavy, I think, in a quality appearance league. Obviously, one good one is good because you want to have that like anchor. I'm kind of taking that anchor approach this year. I don't know. I feel like as long as you can get like one good guy to kind of anchor your ratios, you can find upside later in the rounds.
For sure.
With like strikeouts especially. And again, we're also in a new era too where, pitchers are now put on a clock. Timing's going to be all thrown off. Everything's going to be – nobody knows really what to expect, I think, from pitchers going forward this year. There'll be an adjustment period, and I'm kind of curious to see because we saw, right? I don't know if you saw it, but the whole Max Scherzer playing gamesmanship with the clock.
Oh, that was great. And then they made a fucking rule against it.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see where the league goes with starting pitching and where we can, maybe find some more value later in drafts when it comes to starting pitching because – you've always been able to kind of find guys with late rounds that have upside for strikeouts and maybe a little bit not the greatest for ratios, but you can get some sneaky wins and some sneaky strikeouts from guys like that. So I'm going to go more with like an anchor approach and not so top heavy on the. Because I went top heavy last year in TGFBI with pitching, and it kind of burned me. So
yeah, I almost went top heavy with relief pitcher and because Bob Osgood, who's in 30 Rock with us, he's in TGFBI, he's in my league for fantasy 6-pack, and he said he was interested in my zero pitcher in TGFBI, and he said you should try this, but like pick a relief pitcher early so you have one guy.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
It's not bad, but you know what? You're still drafting a pitcher in the first 150 picks, and that's not what I'm doing this year. It's not happening, Bob. But I almost picked Emmanuel Clase in the 3rd round of this just to like see if it worked, but no. I'm gonna start my book now.
Okay, yeah. Start manifesting some pages in your new zero pitcher strategy book.
Exactly.
All right, yeah. So I know we got the TGFBI league starting off. Just kicked off this morning. You had the 5th pick, correct?
4.
Or that's right. I have 5. You have 4.
Yes, you had 4. 5. Yeah.
Want to give us a little sneak peek of who's on your team already?
Currently, J-Ram fell to me to 4, and I didn't want to pick him, Jason. I wanted Julio. I wanted to be just like you, but like a third baseman, which we talked about earlier the last few weeks. Third base isn't great.
No.
And having that surefire third base guy that can steal you some bases, can hit your home runs, it was kind of a no-brainer. So I kind of had to pick him. I believe my queue was set for J-Ram, Trey Turner, or Julio. So
okay,
I was happy with any of those 3. And Turner got picked right before me, so I was like, all right, I'm just going to go with J-Ram. Then I came back with Bo Bichette because I love Bo. Bo knows. He's also a guy that's going to steal me bases. Like right there, that's 40, 50 bags between 2 guys. And that could – and not only that is they're like bases that are going to – they're not like just stealing bases. They're also hitting home runs. It's not like I'm getting like Miles Straw, who's going to like occasionally get on base and steal it. But these guys are going to contribute in most of the categories. Then I went with my Matt Olson. I'm trying to keep my teams kind of the opposite of your approach. Keep my teams kind of the same, just so I can like root for guys. Because that's the other thing in fantasy football is there. I'm like, oh, I want him to score a touchdown, but wait, I'm the guy that has this and that guy and this guy. So I'm trying to keep my season-long teams like relatively the same, and I think that's why I enjoy the zero pitcher because like I'm getting the same tiers of guys available to me.
Yeah, we're talking pre-game here. We talked about how I was diversifying all my leagues. I feel like I've got like a share of almost every player, especially at the top of the draft. You know, at the later portion of the draft, I kind of find my guys, but the top half of the draft, I'm just like randomly diversifying. And I'm also curious too because the Fantasy Six Pack Series is only a 12-team league, so I feel like the zero pitcher strategy is really going to pan out in a smaller league, right? Because there's going to be
less pitchers on the board right now.
Yeah, the shallower the league, the more I think you can kind of wait and get those upside pitchers. Which is funny because we didn't even talk about the Fantasy Six Pack on our strategies, and I feel like our first two picks are almost very similar. I went Julio Rodriguez and Bobby Witt, so we both kind of had that like speed power combo. So it'll be interesting to see. It's weird that we both kind of went that same build, I guess, without even talking to each other. I'm in the third round now, and I just took my, like I said, I want to get my, at least I get that anchor ace. Did that in the third round with Shane McClanahan. I feel like he's kind of being undervalued right now, going in like behind guys like Rodon, Nola. He did have a little bit of a dip at the end of last year, but we're also talking about a guy that was an SP3 top, behind Cole and Burns. I feel like I even value him a little bit higher than Alcantara. So to get him like middle of the third, I'll take that as my anchor SP, not kind of jump ship and go back to those hitters. So I feel like you can get the quality appearances later in the draft. Because guys that, SP3s and 4s are going to get you quality appearances. Guys that might only go five innings as an SP4, they're going to have great value, I think, in this round. So I think you can definitely wait with pitchers in the shallower leagues, such as Fantasy Six Pack Series.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I got Nerf draft on Sunday. I'm not drafting that fucking pitcher, Jason. I'm not. I'm just not.
I know. I love it. I love the flag plants of just like, this is my strategy. I'm going for it, and we're gonna see how it goes. I love that.
And next year, if it doesn't work, just pitchers for the first 150 picks.
Yeah. Just have your whole rotation done by the 10th round.
We'll see. I'm excited though, and it's fun to be excited about like fantasy baseball drafts can be kind of like a monotonous thing because they go deep, like.
Especially Jake the slow Fraley draft too, right?
Picked. Like, I don't care about Jake Fraley. So give me fucking Brian Bayo. Like the upside for pitchers late is so much higher than the upside for a hitter. Unless you're picking like the prospects that we've been talking about, which I'm not going to name just in case someone's listening. Yeah,
exactly. You can't give away too many tips and tricks for the fellows that are listening. But I think before we get out of here, let's talk maybe like give some guys, the listeners, maybe a few guys that we're targeting for home runs or strikeouts. I've always been told, not always, but I've heard in the past, if you target home runs and strikeouts, you have a good chance of not only winning your league, but at least finishing near the top. So let's go ahead and, Knicks and Chicks love the long ball.
Yeah, man.
So let's start with home runs first. I'll go ahead and throw out a guy that, these are guys that are going outside the top 200 ADP via NFBC. We'll stick with NFBC for right now. That's where I pulled the data from. So, and I'm sure you have it open on your phone or on your computer. First guy I'm going to throw out there is going to be Marcell Ozuna. Right now,
guys,
I actually drafted him. I don't know, bad guy for sure. Unfortunately, that's what happens when the bad guys come around, right? Their ADP dips. Right, when he's healthy, dude's a legit monster for power. 23 home runs in 124 games last year. If you take away, even in 2020, that monstrous year, 18 home runs in only 60 games. Let me look up his ADP real quick. I don't want to give some false information, but I took him.
It's 328.
So, I mean, where else are you getting 20, 25 plus home runs at 328 in your drafts? I think he's just someone that's being undervalued. I guess a lot of it's right injury past, and he's a bad guy. Nobody likes bad guys, but he's a piece of shit, but he's going to contribute fantasy stats. So might as well add him into your league. I mean, I think he's a piece of shit, but he's also going to help me possibly win some money. So
yeah. So I have two. One, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. I got a couple, two more. So we'll fly through them. Yeah.
I'll just go with one. First, I'll start with mine that I have a question about.
Okay.
It's Trace Thompson to me.
Yeah.
Because like he's not good, but like people think he's good. And the projections love him. But why? He's Klay Thompson's brother. I get that.
Mhm.
But like he doesn't I didn't know he was like an everyday guy.
So he's been kind of pushed down the depth charts lately, and
Okay.
now he's finally getting his chance. So I think because even when he was playing, he does have some legit power. Both his time in what's it called in Milwaukee and now in LA. When he has had the plate appearances, he has gotten and shown power. And what's his ADP now, if you don't mind, if you got it ready?
420?
Is that true?
Yeah, and Fantrax projects him for 26 bombs.
See? Yeah, I mean, he's always had like
I'm gonna add him to my queue, but like he just I don't think I know he's on the West Coast, but I just don't think he's good. I didn't know that like this was like a thing.
yeah, I mean 13 home runs in 80 games last year. So
yeah,
if you project that out, just simple, easy. I mean, you're talking about 26 home runs, basically around a full, 20, 25 home runs at outside the top 400. Definitely cannot go wrong with there. As we're at the Flyer, he may come in. He's going to platoon, I think, too, right now. He may not get those full at bats, but
yeah.
I mean, at 425 ADP or whatever said it was, I mean, I'm all in on that gamble. Own him in 30 Rock. Shameless plug, yeah.
Do you want me to trade for him?
You know what's funny is I picked him up off the waiver last year when everyone was kicking him to the side. So
nice. I'm proud of you, Jason.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm going to go from one current Brave to a former Brave, and that's Jock Peterson.
Oh, whew. Mine's also a former Brave.
Oh, okay. A lot of power, I think, goes to Atlanta, huh? But I'm going to go with Jock Peterson. I mean, the guy's just done nothing but hit home runs. And surprisingly, last year, his first full year in San Francisco, which is one of the worst parks, I think, to hit home runs in, he had 23 home runs. Since 2019, he's had a career high of 36 home runs. And then also since that same time frame, since 2019, so the last 3 seasons, he's got 84 home runs, which is top 50 among unqualified hitters. Is he good at getting on base and getting hits? No, but when he gets the hit, it's usually gone for a home run.
Yeah. All right.
He's got an ADP of
late.
Yeah. It's
too. Fuck. Oh no.
2 something, 3 something.
Yeah. He just got picked in mine like recently.
He was outside our parameter of top 200.
I've always liked him. He's like a good guy. His brother's special needs. There was like a good home run derby story with it. I'm a fan of Jock. And he wore the pearls. Who doesn't love pearls?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go with former Brave, current Boston Red Sox.
Oh, okay.
Adam Duvall.
Love it.
He was hurt last year, so like we don't count it. But he has 30 homer pop. And I think he's going to love playing at Fenway. And I'm excited because I will be there a lot. His ADP is currently, I'm going to round it down, 376. And to get that tight, like he's someone that I'm definitely drafting within the next 10 rounds, but pumped.
Yeah, I mean, that, talking about Jock Peterson, right? It's kind of similar bat to ball skill, just doesn't get a ton of hits. But when he does, they're usually loud contact and go over the wall. So great late round target for home runs. We're going, 1 season removed from an almost 40 home run season. So the power is legit. It's always been legit. Just a matter of staying healthy and getting the at bats.
Exactly.
And who doesn't, love a homer pick out of Nick? So if you're not tuning in for a homer pick out of Nick, then what are you doing here? You know what I mean?
You don't even know what's happening. Nerf, I'm just drafting Sox.
There you go. All right, let's switch it over to strikeouts now. Some guys, this is right up your alley, right? I mean, guys outside the top 200 pitchers. This is the strategy right here. This is the Nick no pitcher strategy.
Yeah. Should I start? I do not have this 80 ADP, but
yeah, go for it.
Homer pick. Garrett Woodlock. I have no idea what he's going to do this year. They kind of fucked him up. I think he should have been the closer. He should always be a closer. Unfortunately, they're really committed to the value of the contract and the value if he's a starter and like a number 2, which is what I think they hope he is, the contract value is immense, and the value of him after 200 is great because he is someone that can give you like he might pitch 4 innings, but he'll get you like 7 strikeouts because that's just how good he is. So he's someone that I would be targeting. Unfortunately, someone took him from me in TGFBI. It's not going to happen again. So he's someone that I'm definitely looking at, especially because he's on the Sox.
How dare someone take one of Nick's homer picks in TGFBI?
Bullshit.
Don't they know your strategy of 0 pitchers?
I know. People need to be nicer to me. Like I'm like a sweet guy.
Yeah. Shame on them. All right, my guy I'm going to bring out here is someone I actually drafted in TGFBI, and I've kind of been on him a lot coming into this year, is Tyler Mahle. I mean, the guy's, if he's done one thing in his career, it's strike out batters, right? He's got over a K per 9 in his first career, a 25% K rate for his career, and I think almost a 30%, 29% CSW. So sometimes he might pitch a little bit too contact too much, but I mean, the strikeouts, right? If you're targeting strikeouts late, you got that ADP for me, or you need me to pull it up?
I do. He's been picked from me, so I can't see him.
Okay, 1 second. Let me get the people what they want. Let me get that ADP.
And you helped
264. 264.
Yeah,
ADP of 264.
He's so good.
Now in Minnesota, right? Gets out of one of basically the most hitter friendly park in the baseball in Cincinnati. Now goes to Minnesota, which is going to be huge. I think gain in his game of not having to pitch in that shitty park. But yeah, I mean, strikeouts. The ADP is starting to climb a little bit. He's even got a min pick of 171. So,
that's crazy.
But the average ADP is at 264. It meets the parameter also at 200. Gets strikeouts for his career. It's going to get more strikeouts again in Minnesota. Get yourself some Tyler Mahle.
All right. My final one, who I just lost. Hold on 1 second. 15, 14. Oh, this one's kind of cheating because he might not play this year, but he might.
Okay.
Mr. Mike Soroka.
Yes.
That's a deep cut because he was an all-star maybe 2-3 years ago, and he's still like 25, 26. But he just continues to tear his Achilles.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But he's currently jogging, so that's good. He strained his hammy a couple weeks ago. But he's someone that I'm definitely looking at. His ADP is currently 380, and that's just like great value to just throw a dart at the end of draft. Instead of drafting a prospect that might never come up, draft a pitcher that might not pitch. But he can strike people out, so that's pretty sick.
Yeah, I used to own Soroka in so many dynasty leagues, and that Achilles has just been pain to not, I'm sure, to him, but also to us, because he has a ton of talent. And when he was on the mound, he was awesome, and he was just kind of like, he's now just an afterthought in that Braves rotation because he can't stay healthy.
He needs a trade. He needs like just a fresh start somewhere, and like just like a voodoo type thing. Like, we're gonna trade you. You need to be somewhere else. We're fine with giving you up, not because you're not a good player, just because it's just time for a change.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally agree. All right. One last guy for me for pitchers is going to be, again, someone that's not super flashy, not going to get super hyped about, but it's Ross Stripling.
Nice.
Gets to go now and pitch in San Francisco, going to arguably one of the worst hitter parks in baseball. Not quite that strikeout master, but I mean, come on, we're talking about an ADP of 379. He's got just under a K per 9. He's got a 17% K minus walk rate, and the CSW is at 28%. So that CSW rate is near elite. I think, again, pitching in Cincinnati, or in San Francisco now is only going to help his value. We know how San Francisco knows how to develop pitchers and teach pitching. So I think someone for 2023, if you're looking for some late round strikeouts, again, not going to be that over 10, 9, 10 Ks per 9, but 7, 8 can't argue with that at 380. What's up?
I said it still helps. Like, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah, absolutely. When you get 7 or 8, if you can get over 5 from a starting pitcher, you're getting the 400 range. That's a win.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, and I'm loving these draft talks. I think we
Yeah.
should keep it going next week. At least one more week. We'll go one more week of draft talk. We got to recap the Nerf, right? Can't wait to hear the recap of Nerf.
Yeah, I'm picking 15 in Nerf, and Jake Devereaux is picking 14.
So you guys are just be sniping each other back and forth.
My close personal friend, Jake. Yeah. So we'll see if that friendship still remains.
It better not be taking your 0 pitcher strategy.
I know. No, what sucks is since I've declared this, he now knows, like, I don't need to worry.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, yeah, he knows he can wait, especially on the turn. He's like, oh, Nick's not going to take a pitch.
Exactly. So if he's picking between a pitcher and the hitter, he'd be like, well, I'm going to draft the pitcher now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to draft the hitter now because, like, maybe he wants Kyle Schwarber, which I do. I need one share of Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, you got to diversify a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, well, I can't wait to hear about it, buddy. We'll talk next week. Some more draft strategies.
Yes, sir. See ya.